lot of chatter about De'Aaron Fox lately, so let's talk about it. What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. Hope you're having a great day. Maybe it's a snowy day where you are, because it certainly snowed where I am here up in New England. And a lot of fans, a little bit in the videos, but more so than live streams, are still second-guessing the De'Aaron Fox trade, but even more are not liking his current contract due to his production or lack of production. So we're going to talk about De'Aaron Fox and what I don't get and what the issue is. First up, let's get into his original trade. Just to revisit this real quick, we unloaded the Zach Collins contract. At the time, I was happy with this. You were probably happy with this. Sure, there's the hindsight with drafting Dylan Harper and the recent Trae Young, which still to this day I don't get CJ McCollum and Corey Kispert for Trae Young, but it is what it is. But at the time, this was a good trade, and I still think this was a good trade. I have no complaints. Okay, let's talk about the contract, because this is one that is certainly coming up more and more often. He's making $37 million this year, and the Spurs extended him to 50, 54, 58, 62. Okay, at the time, I did think this was an overpay, and I still do. I think each year that the Spurs have him extended should be about $5 million less. We can't change that now, but it is what it is. That's the contract. If you didn't know, there it is. It's a big one. One thing about this contract is if Dylan Harper and Stephon Castle become the players that we think and hope they can be, he could be almost untradeable at the end of this contract due to the size of the contract, unless it's a salary dump type of situation where teams rebuilding, they want to dump somebody on an expiring contract, and they'll say, hey, we'll take De'Aaron Fox on for him in a pick or something. So there's a contract situation. I get why some of you are not happy with it with the production. Speaking of said production, we're going to take a look at his last full season with the Kings and this year with the Spurs. I'm going to not include last season because, one, he was injured most of the season, or actually all of the season, but he also split the season between the Kings and the Spurs. So I think a fair assessment would be his last year with the Kings. And he averaged almost 27 points per game, led the league in steals at 2 a game, and was fairly efficient at 47-74. I would say this is top 5 point guard, or top 5 scoring point guard if you label him as that, in the NBA type production. That's what we traded for, right? Is that what we're getting right now? He's in his prime, so we should be. Well, we're not at the moment. His minutes are down a few minutes a game. His points per game are significantly down to 20.2. The assists are about the same. The steals are down a bit. And the splits are actually pretty darn close as well. 47, 34, 80. His three-point percentage was significantly higher early in the year at about 39%, but then he had a slump of like 2 for 26, which brought it down to where it is at the moment. So what's the issue? What's the big drop-off in production? Some of you already know before I get to it, so if you want to put it in the comment now, go ahead. We're going to pull up his lifetime stats. As I looked at his lifetime stats, one thing really jumped out at me. No, not the up and down three-point shooting, not the missed games early in his career. It was this. His field goal attempts per game at this moment in time are the third lowest of his career, 15.8, just under his third year at 16. As you can see, usually he's a much higher volume player, averaging, let's say, about 19 shots per game when he was an all-star in Sacramento, 18 and 19. As you actually look, his last year with Sacramento, he's taking 19.6 points per shots per game. Comes to the Spurs, down to 16.5. Now this season, 15.8. And I don't expect him to be the leading shot taker with Wemby on the team. It should be Wemby. But his involvement, it should be more. Is this his fault or the coach's? Again, drop a comment. I'm very curious on your feedback on that. My answer is both. As far as the coaching, Stephon Castle should not be the primary ball handler. He should be off ball, and we're seeing it right now with all his turnovers. What I don't get, which is on the thumbnail, is why the San Antonio Spurs traded for De'Aaron Fox. You gave him a huge contract to be the secondary ball handler? To me, that's a no, Spurs no, unless this is some sort of weird, similar to point sewing. Is this a point Castle experiment? We're like, you know what? We're looking long term. We're looking to develop Stephon Castle this year. Maybe next year it'll be a point Harper experiment. But again, why bring in De'Aaron Fox if you're not going to use him to his fullest, unleash his maximum potential. That I don't get. Will that change before the end of the season? I don't know. And also, this is on De'Aaron Fox. The lower shot attempts, his involvement, I think this is completely on him because at times he seems passive. In the first 3 quarters, just sometimes coasting through the game. Then he turns it on in the fourth. He's getting in there, shooting his mid-ranges. He's breaking down the defense, getting a layup, taking longer mid-ranges. Where was that the first 36 minutes of the game? We need that all the time, not just 25%. A game is 45 minutes. It is 4 quarters, as unfortunately Spurs fans have found out a lot this season. We've looked pretty darn good in the first 36 minutes, and then the last quarter, it disappears on us. And also, one thing I also want to talk about as we're talking about De'Aaron Fox, is it just me, or the chemistry between Wemby and Fox just not there? If you can hear any screaming, my phone is ringing right now, so it's Luke Cage screaming. Hopefully you can't hear that in the background, and that's why I'm laughing and distracted. But is the chemistry not there at the moment? When we look at Stephon Castle and Luke Kornet, White Castle, look at all the alley-oops those two are getting together this year. That's what I thought we'd be seeing between De'Aaron Fox and Victor Wembanyama. Lob City 2.0 in San Antonio. It would be Lob City 1 in San Antonio, but, there was a Lob City already in LA. So I thought we'd have something like that. I'm like, man, the Fox-Wemby connection is going to be fire. And it's just been smoke right now. I haven't seen it. Maybe I'm just, because I'm busy calling the game and running the scoreboard and talking to you guys. Maybe I'm missing something with the chemistry. Please let me know. But I am not seeing what I thought I'd seen. I'm not seeing what I'm seeing between Steph and Luke at the moment. That being said, it's not all gloom and doom, Spurs fans. It's not. I'm just, people are talking about De'Aaron Fox, and sometimes these negative type of videos are the feedback I am getting from the community, and I want to address it. And I still think Fox is a good trade. I think the contract was not the best. It could have been better, but it is what it is. And his lack of involvement is certainly an issue. That's on him and the coaches. That being said, guys, this is still a fantastic season. Our Spurs are in second place. Second place, 30-14, winning 68% of their games. If they maintain 68%, that's a 55-win season, and that is playoffs for sure. There were fans and maybe analysis that said we were still a lottery team. We've exceeded expectations, and we're only going to get better. We've seen some of Shaolin Wemby, but he certainly has not completely evolved into Goku Wemby. Is that a thing, right? Evolving to go. Is that Dragon Ball Z? I don't know. I'm trying to be cool and totally failing. We haven't seen Wemby at his best. Certainly not seen Stephon Castle at his best, and that spring thumb, I do think is definitely bothering him at the moment. He was, again, messing around with it in the last loss versus, I'm trying to block it out of my head. I don't even want to talk about it. The last loss, clearly bothering him. Harper's a rookie. Fox is not Fox yet. There's so much potential for this team, and I've said it before, I said it again, because I want to go on a positive note. It is a good time to be a Spurs fan. There's just going to be speed bumps with the players and coaching staff this year. We just got to take those bumps, take those, when they hit us with those shots, those tough losses, or bad rotations, or bad shot taking, or whatever it is, take the shot and come out stronger and go, you know what? It's still be a dang good year. I know it is, and it is already, and it's going to continue to be. All right, I'm very curious on the feedback on this video. Drop a comment, hit the thumbs up if you like support the channel, and subscribe to become part of our Awesome Spurs community. Thank you, and as always, go Spurs go!